Kenneth Tam, The Crane and the Snake, 2021. HD video, color, 9 minutes and 5 seconds. Audio track, 2 looped digital video animations with metal stands, tackling dummies, vinyl-coated fabric, metal grommets, shoelace, 159 inches high by 302 inches wide by 230 inches deep. Kenneth Tam's The Crane and the Snake, 2021 is a video installation with sculptural elements. It consists of a 9-minute, 5-second video that runs on a loop projected onto the gallery wall on a monumental scale, about 26 feet long by 12 feet high. The video shows 2 young Asian men facing each other and moving their arms and bodies in slow, dance-like movements as they engage in push hands, a form of Tai Chi in which 2 people transfer energy, with softness overcoming hardness. In front of the video, 2 vertically oriented video monitors on 3-legged stands measuring about 5 feet high show a black and white animation of these 2 Asian men's faces drawn in a simple black outline. Their heads tilt back, eyes closed, mouths slightly open, nostrils visible, in an expression that could be read as an experience of pleasure or pain. A series of vertically oriented arrows follow the contours of the men's faces and throats. The arrows move upward and downward like diagrams found in traditional Chinese medicine, showing the circulation of qi, or energy pathways, within the body. A few feet away on the floor are 3 football tackling dummies made of altered vinyl coverings in red, yellow, white, and black. 2 tackling dummies lie on the floor while the 3rd stands upright. They are cylindrical in shape and human scale. They are made from pieces of vinyl stitched together in a patchwork style, some pieces sewn haphazardly or even falling off. Returning to the large-scale video installation, the video opens with a close-up of 2 hands touching, back of hand against back of hand. The video is saturated in a yellow-orange hue that shifts to a dusty orange. The video cuts to a medium shot of 2 young Asian men standing opposite each other, one with a shaved head, the other with medium-length black hair pulled up in a looping double ponytail. They are wearing traditional Tai Chi robes worn by men, with a high collar and knotted buttons, but they are actually made of repurposed vinyl, the very same material as the tackling dummies in the sculptural installation on the floor. The men move their arms around in circles together in a slow, snake-like choreography. Sometimes they move backward and forward, but always maintain the same distance between them. A wide shot shows the 2 men maintaining eye contact. Their expression is intentional and calm. These men appear to be in a dancerly trance, on an empty soundstage that shows no indication of the space around them. The element of fog lends more to that feeling. The audio soundtrack is a sample of appropriated recording of hazing rituals from Asian fraternities. Kenneth Tam is an artist known for video works that examine performative masculinity. In this work, he focuses on the contradictory hazing rituals of Asian American fraternities, which originally formed in order to provide education and support for Asian American men in the wake of anti-Asian racism and historic oppression. This work offers young Asian men alternative ways of relating to one another. What aspects of gender performance do you find damaging or difficult? How does race and ethnicity impact the performance of gender roles? What other ways of relating would be more liberating, more caring, more community building? Ann Wu, A Pattern Universe, 2021. Stainless steel, rigid insulation foam, tinted joint compound, PVC roof panel, tarp, plastic packing rope, cast and found objects. 138 inches high by 250 inches wide by 121.25 inches deep. In this sculptural installation, the artist Ann Wu reconfigures various architectural elements and construction materials into a playful architectural arrangement that visitors can enter and experience. These materials are widely used in her neighborhood of Flushing, Queens, a largely Chinese immigrant community. The sculptural installation is large-scale, measuring approximately 12 feet high by 21 feet long by 10 feet deep. The installation consists of a constellation of 5 hybrid frames made of polished stainless steel rods that create a number of small rooms, pathways, and portals. These frames reference architectural spaces but do not have walls, so they are porous, allowing visitors to move through the created space in unexpected ways. A visitor might pass through a semicircular arched doorway, a sloping banister-turned wall, and a balcony rail as a low wall. The overall effect of the work is like a whimsical and surreal jungle gym or playground. Juxtaposed against the sturdy architectural elements and construction materials are lighter and more temporary materials like blue tarp, pink rigid insulation foam, and turquoise green polycarbonate corrugated roof panels. These materials lend a physical lightness and even a precariousness or unfinished quality to the work. Ann Wu lives in Flushing, Queens, and was inspired by many of the DIY architecture and constructions found in her neighborhood. She talks about the, quote, logic of close enough that permeates the decision-making of its inhabitants. She also traveled to her family's ancestral village in rural Fujian, China, to visit her grandfather's house, and noticed that many of the buildings include stainless steel decorative features like the ones found in Queens. Some of these references to mainland China and the Chinese diasporic community in Flushing can be found in her installation. One detail includes 4 textured metal rods stepped in a row from tall to short, with a cast whole lychee fruit, which is native to Guangdong and Fujian provinces in China, with its textured rind painted in shades of pale pink, pale yellow, rose pink, and salmon. Set within a metal frame is an insulation foam design reminiscent of Chinese lattice work, with overlapping rectangles and squares. Another detail of shiny metal rods of varying heights, like the balusters lining a staircase or balcony, are punctuated by cast lotus pods, round with a cluster of small irregular holes, each painted in a different color of the rainbow, from violet to ultramarine blue, to cerulean blue, to teal, to bright green, to mint, to pale pistachio. What do you think the experience of walking through this sculptural installation would be like? What kind of space do you think the artist is trying to create for visitors? How would you make connections between your present culture and your family's ancestral cultures? Pauline Shaw, The Tomb Sweeper's Mosquito Bite, 2021. Dyed wool, silk, milk fiber, cotton gauze, pulley ballast system, 8 glass weights with cast sugar, ash, joss paper, bronze, stone, silver, and water. 17 feet and 6 inches high by 22 feet long by 5 feet 3 inches deep. Pauline Shaw's The Tomb Sweeper's Mosquito Bite 2021 is an installation comprising a monumental tapestry and hand-blown glass bags suspended from the ceiling. The tapestry measures approximately 18 feet high by 22 feet long and is made of dyed wool, silk, milk fiber, and cotton gauze or scrim. The work is suspended from the ceiling and floats about a foot off the floor, like a theater curtain. The tapestry features an all-over composition, meaning that all areas of the tapestry are treated equally. There is no one central part. The overall image is abstract, comprised of web-like ribbons and aggregations of colored fibers looping and overlapping. An earthy brown meets the blue of the night sky. A vibrant fuchsia and violet mix and give way to more pastel shades of lavender, aqua, pink, and coral. Areas of more neutral beige balance the pastel palette. Because the tapestry is made of wool, silk, milk fiber, it has a softness, a warmth, a homespun feel. This abstract pattern is actually based on MRI scans of her brain as she recalled various memories. These images were collaged with other images from medical textbooks showing neural and bodily degeneration. Moving behind the tapestry, 8 hand-blown glass bags suspended by cords from the ceiling create a corridor in which visitors are able to pass through. These glass bags, sacks, and vessels contain objects of personal significance to the artist, often based on Taoist designs or objects found at an altar. One glass sack contains 3 translucent peach-colored clementines cast in sugar. Another glass bag contains a cast sugar peach cut in half, bronze peach pits, and a green carved stone rabbit. And another holds what the artist says are, quote, small recreations of scenes from my memories. A miniature set of school desks and chairs, one right side up, one upside down, that are connected together. On the top, the student has a dragon's head. The bottom student has a tiger's head. Animal figures borrowed from my and my mom's zodiac signs. Pauline Shaw draws connections between personal memory and ancestral history as a first-generation Asian American woman. The work might help us to think about how memory serves us and how it might fail us. What kind of cultural or collective memory is passed down over generations, across geographies? LeSeur, There is No Movement Without Rhythm, 2021, 5-channel HD video, color, sound, 8 minutes 51 seconds, 52 inches high by 182 inches in diameter. LeSeur's There Is No Movement Without Rhythm, 2021, is a 5-channel video installation with sound. 5 vertically oriented HD monitors measuring 55 inches each are arranged facing one another in a circle, with space between each monitor for visitors to stand and enter the circle, like entering a sacred or ceremonial space. The 5 videos are synced in order to create a seamless choreography from one monitor to another. In the video, the artist performs various hand and body gestures. A woman's hand in silhouette hangs gracefully from the top of the screen, set against a deep glowing red background. Her hand unfurls. She creates mudras or hand gestures. As the tempo of the music increases, so does the movement of her hand. Another scene shows her head with natural curly hair, head parallel to the floor as she moves. The screen fades to a red void. The video gives way to a digital animation of water, in shades of purples and pinks, rippling and bubbling and flowing. The audio score is comprised of a sampling of different musical styles and sources, from jazz to hip-hop songs by Kanye West to African Islamic songs, rhythms from the Nawa music, and references to the sounds of Black churches throughout the United States. Drums, rattles, acoustic percussion, piano jazz, the metallic crashing sounds of a cymbal. A woman saying, "You want me to give you a testimony about my life and how good he is to me. I don't know if anybody understands what that feels like. I won't always be feeling so good. Someday," her voice trails off. Other vocals saying, "You're not real. Only way you realize your true spirit is through nature, through love." And more vocals saying, "She felt the rhythm in her soul. She moved, she moved, she moved." Around minute 4, the audio shifts from vocals to a high-tempo beat. All 5 screens are activated as the artist's body moves to the rhythm of the beat, her image flashing from one screen to the next in a counterclockwise circle. Her body tilts backwards and head tilts slowly as she gazes directly at the viewer, holding her body tenderly. LeSeur talks about, quote, "We as artists are really processing and pushing forward with creation as a framework for healing," unquote. Music can offer healing where there has been silencing and oppression. How does music offer hope, healing, or transcendence in your life? Jamal Rust, Passages, 2021. Mixed media on tempered glass, steel armature, 89.25 inches high by 135 inches wide by 72 inches long. Jamal Rust's Passages, 2021, is an installation that serves as an actual passageway made of glass and steel that visitors can move between. The installation is made of 2 parallel freestanding glass panels contained within a 3-inch thick dark steel frame and flat steel base measuring about 4 by 6 feet. They are arranged 3 feet apart from each other, like 2 glass windows or doors facing each other. One panel contains stenciled text in fluid silver that reflects like a mirror, gold and oxidized in some places. The all-caps serif text written in English reads, "I made an attempt to communicate with this absence." I made an attempt to communicate with this absence, repeated over and over again from the top left of the panel to the bottom right, reading like a page with one line spilling over into the next. The text is borrowed from Martinician poet and theorist Edward Glissant's Poetics of Relation, a meditation on the post-colonial body and the possibilities for relation between different cultures. The artist Tajh Rust talks about this section of the text that comes from a story called The Black Beach, about a boy who wanders around town, not speaking to anyone, appearing and disappearing, like the ebbs and flow of the waves. Directly parallel to the first panel, the second glass panel contains hand-painted silhouettes of the human form in shades of silver, black, and transparent. The silhouette includes head, arms, and torso, waist deep in water, ripples made by dashes of silver paint. The human silhouettes are arranged in a repeating pattern of 8 rows. Their facial features and any distinguishing traits are omitted, and instead we see a representation of the human form with different skin tones. Because these panels are made of glass, the light and shadow play creates a dynamic pattern on the gallery floor. Shadows of the human figure are cast onto the gallery floor in varying degrees of legibility to obscurity. Shadows of the text are also cast onto the floor, crisp and defined, becoming more and more distorted. Depending on your position and the direction of the light, the work has varying degrees of opacity and transparency. At times, the text and images are faint and ghostly, other times bold. The use of fluid silver in the text and human silhouette creates a reflective surface in which the visitor's own reflection is mirrored back, causing them to become part of the piece. The title of the work is Passages. We might think about Middle Passage, the harrowing and oppressive sea voyage that Africans who were enslaved were forced to endure as part of the transatlantic slave trade between Africa, Europe, and the Americas. We might also think about passages as a liminal and in-between space, perhaps portals to the past or future. What other passages does this work evoke for you? How does the text inform the image, and how does the image inform the text?